Hey, good morning, everybody. It's about 10:35 on this Saturday morning. I'm able to do this with my door open at this time frame because my mom is at a training in Livermore. It's not as long as last week, but still. But anyway, you see the title down there. It says Ken Penders Counsel asks court to ban Knuckles Archive number 4. Or basic Ken Penders Counsel wants ban on Knuckles Archives 4. Sale, related material in dispute. Yeah, you might read that and you say to yourself, what does this mean? Well, we all know that Knuckles Archive, this next one, is supposed to be coming out, but due to what's going on behind the scenes in court, it seems that Penders Counsel is asking the court to ban the sale of the fourth installment of the Knuckles Archive because of the related material in dispute. And this is what they say, and I quote, I'll provide a link down below as well so you guys can read this. Evidence documents, quote-unquote, issues and concerns with Sega. First time Sega's been brought up in a while. And it states, and I quote, Lawyers representing former Sonic comic writer Ken Penders in the ongoing legal dispute with Archie Comics have petitioned the judge in the case to allow an injunction that would, quote-unquote, prevent Archie comic publications from releasing, distributing, and selling Knuckles Archives Volume 4 and any other works which Mr. Penders created, which he is the copyright owner of, and which are the subject of the case, according to public records obtained by TSSZ this morning. And this, of course, was yesterday. The move comes amid what appeared to be a amid what appeared to be broken down settlement talks we first told you about in December. Back then, terms of settlement appeared to have been agreed upon. That no longer looks to be the case, and with still legally valid copyrights in tow, Penders attorneys now want the court to halt any sales of materials in dispute. You may remember that we reported Diamond Comics at least temporarily halted distribution of Knuckles Archives number 3 last year due to the dispute. Quote, Mr. Penders is compelled to move for relief, seeking to enjoin the release and distribution of the Knuckles Archive Volume 4 or line needly real space stores wishes to also enjoin ICP Archie Comic Publications from releasing, distributing, or otherwise selling his work, which is the subject of this litigation. Now, when you read this, you'll probably be wondering what the heck was going on. They must have had a typing problem or something. The letter says in part, quote, a major concern of Mr. Penders is ICP's continuing failure to properly credit Mr. Penders for his work. If the Knuckles Archives Volume 4 is released, Mr. Penders would suffer irreparable harm beyond financial consequences. Judge Richard Berman has given attorneys for Archie Comics until Tuesday at noon to respond. It does not appear a decision has been made as a result of this petition. Berman has also encouraged both parties to, quote, continue to pursue settlement, according to his endorsement. Here is the interesting part of the petition. Included as evidence and on the public record is an exchange between attorneys on both sides, which is usually subject to attorney-client privilege. It details Penders' attorney Phil Damon asking Archie attorney Joshua Paul whether Penders is quote properly credited for his work, which ACP is reprinting. And if I said ICP, I apologize. Which ACP is reprinting. After a response from Paul Damon asked quote, if the mediation is to focus on issues and concerns you, Archie, have replied Sega, or simply the schedule. Though it is not the first time we have seen the Sega name pop up among the proceedings, you may remember concerns about Sega renewing the Sonic licensing deal with Archie Comics that has since been assuaged. It does play into some fans' concerns that Sega is taking a more direct role overseeing the comics content in light of this litigation. Should the injunction go through and be granted, the impact of sales and distributions for past Sonic comics, at least in the short term, would be profound. We will continue monitoring developments. And I'll provide you again a link with that very same thing there. But basically, it sounds like Ken Penders doesn't want to take any chances right now. Then even though we've had Knuckles Archive 1, 2, and 3 sold, that because of what's going on, he doesn't want any more sales to go. He doesn't want any more of the Knuckles archives to happen. Now the problem with that, though, is Sega themselves is probably behind the whole Knuckles archives things happening. And because Knuckles is their character, they're going to want to see them reprinted. So it sounds like to me that Sega may have to jump in here and say, hey, look, when you were working for Archie Comics, you were essentially working for us. So anything you did with them is not just their property, but it's mostly our property. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but if Sega's being brought up now, it sounds like that might be the direction they have to go in. To where Sega steps in and says, hey, look, when you worked for us, when you worked for Archie doing the comic, you were essentially working for us. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we've got at least what? We've got at least what? What is it? Let's see. About what? 72 hours at least until we find out something. So yeah. But it sounds like basically Ken Penders, like I said, is trying everything he can to prevent the sales of these. I think essentially the sales of the Archives number 4, which I think is going to go through no matter what. Because I think Sega's going to finally have to step in. Not saying they will, and I'm not saying they won't, but it sounds like that might be the direction they go in. But it also sounds like that all he wants to be is credited for what he's done. But again, I also think he wants the continuity he helped create while he was running the show, if you will, to be added on to what's going on right now in the comic. In other words, like I said, he wants everything that he's done to be acknowledged as being part of the continuity, including the future arcs, if you know what I mean. But we'll just have to wait and see. And I think in turn he wants something. I don't know what it is. I think also maybe he wants, perhaps part of him wants to work it out to where Archie Comics will help him publish the Lawless Sue Chronicles. Maybe make it into a Sonic Universe arc, if you know what I mean. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I will provide a link down below. You guys check it out. Comment if you like. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. And I will talk to y'all later.